right, guys, we're moving out.
Sayonara.
We did. I went and got over. We're moving out.
We're moving out and moving on.
I'm gonna go do one last little vlog in our bay window. Basically, through a series of crazy events.
Bye.
And yes, buddy, bye. You wanna come over here? Yeah. Come on up, buddy. You wanna come up? Okay. Hello from wintry North Florida. We have some weird stuff going on in our lives. I don't even know how to start this video. It's gonna be kind of like a life update, me asking for advice from you guys because we're in a weird spot in our lives. And then a couple of you had asked what we were getting our kids for the holidays. So I'll cover a little bit of that. And I'll leave chapters, so if any of this is not interesting to you, you can go ahead and just jump to the gifts. But I feel like I have to do the life update to explain the gifts. We kind of unexpectedly sold our house, I guess you could say. I know that sounds weird. Just like we kind of unexpectedly bought that house. Basically, long story short, when we bought the house, we loved it, but we also, there's something about it that like, it both always felt like our forever home and never felt like our forever home, if that makes sense. Like it took me, I'd probably say about almost 3 years before I fully unpacked, but that's also just kind of who I am. I moved like 13 times in my 20s. I barely bought furniture for a lot of the things. Like if you watched my Montessori playroom video, you saw we repurposed just a lot of random pieces. We had bought like one piece here when we had a rental, one piece there when we had a rental. So we did a good job keeping everything cohesive considering we never really furnished a place fully all at once. Long story short, I know I'm kind of rambling. Every time we went to go meet with the architect, something inside of us would just be like, no. No. We got to this point where, you know, my daughter didn't get into the school we wanted her to get into for this year. She did get in for the fall of 2024, so we may go back down to that area. Not sure yet. Listen, the market's still hot. It's starting to take a nose dip. Let's go ahead and put our house for rent for season, because where we live, we have like the snowbird season where rents literally would cover our entire mortgage in just a 4-month span for the entire year. So we listed it for rent and we listed it for sale. And at that point, we really thought we were just going to do a seasonal rental and not sell the house. And then within 24 hours of listing it for rent, we got our full rent ask, plus they were gonna pay our hospitality tax. And it was truly like a no-brainer. If you want to come back to this house, they just covered our entire cost of living on it for the full year. So even if it sat empty for the next 8 months, it was paid for a year. The catch in that was, in order to get it set up for a seasonal rental, we were going to have to put more money into it, like just clean up certain things, certain amenities to make it more like a seasonal rental. And I honestly think we would have been okay doing that, but we had just moved into my in-laws to get our house ready, and we didn't want to be living there with the dog and the kids during all that. And we were getting ready to move to North Florida. So now here we are, like we just moved out of our house. We're already trying to like pack it up and get all of our stuff out of it to rent or sell. And now we finally cleared the house, and now we have to like make more home improvements than we had already done. And it just felt like so much work was still ahead of us. Didn't feel possible. 2 days later, when we got our full ask on the sale price, we both kind of were just like, yeah, that feels easier. And then over the days that followed, we got a few more offers at our ask or above again. And so we were just like, okay, let's go ahead. We know pretty much at this point, it's not our forever home. Otherwise, at this point, we've met with enough architects. We would have done something in terms of renovating it so it did fit our family for a longer period of time. Basically, in going through the process, we needed to find somewhere else to go. And we decided that we wanted to go to Northern Florida. Originally, we really wanted to go to like the 30A area, which is between Panama City Beach and Pensacola. I guess it's more like Panama City Beach and Destin it's between. There was just a lot of things happening where it didn't feel like the right choice. So I literally on Airbnb zoomed out, went around the entire coastline of Florida until I found something that was like cute and still pretty affordable. And we ended up in Jacksonville. So we have an Airbnb this month, and then we have another Airbnb for January, and then we had one for February, but we ended up canceling it, and I do think we're gonna head over to the Panhandle side of Florida for February and March. My question is, if you are from that area, Northwest Florida, is the internet that bad on the island? Number one. Number two, is spring break that crazy? And number three, is it easy to find babysitters and like help and stuff, or is it just straight up only vacation rentals? Because I'm a little bit nervous about moving there. And basically our rationale at this point is we love Florida. We know we never fully want to leave Florida. We always want to maintain our residency in Florida. Spending 2 months in like the Jacksonville beaches area, St. John County area, like Ponte Vedra beach and stuff, seeing if we like this. We applied to a school for her up here, then going over to the Panhandle, spending 2 months there, seeing if we like it there. And in these next 4 months, we're getting Cappy a passport. And then after these 4 months, we may stay in Florida, or we may go either to Mexico or Costa Rica while I work on getting my citizenship in Europe. So technically I have a year and a half until I age out for qualifying for my citizenship in Slovenia, which would then get me access to the EU passport. So that's kind of like my plan. So basically right now, the small amount, we sold all of our stuff pretty much. We have a small amount of stuff in a storage unit here in Jacksonville, just pretty centrally located in Florida. Like it's 4 hours back to Palm Beach County. It's 4 hours to the Panhandle. So we're kind of just gonna leave our stuff here and figure out our lives from there, which leads me to the Christmas gifts. Obviously, we're pretty much moving every single month of our lives right now. So Christmas gifts are pretty minimal. My son, we are getting him a scooter. I have a whole blog post and a buying guide on scooters. We got him the one, I forget what it's called, the one with the O-ring. Here's a picture, I'll link it in the description box too. We got him a Giro helmet. Those are definitely our favorite helmets, best fitting helmets for toddlers. The super not Montessori toys I got, which were just on like a Amazon Black Friday sale thing. I got Reagan this like a Minnie Mouse remote control car just because I thought it was like 10 bucks and I thought it'd be fun to do on Christmas morning. So then of course I had to get Cappy a remote control car too, which they had this dump truck one, which I like because once the remote control car portion like goes away, it's a good just playground toy. That one at least is a little bit more versatile and open-ended. I got those just as like your fun Christmas morning thing, but definitely not Montessori. And then we asked for a couple of books for the kids. One's like a Waldorf storybook and the other one is the Grimm's Fairy Tales. That was an interesting realization I had a few months ago, where I historically have been pretty strict on the stories we would read to my daughter. I was very cognizant to not bring in too many themes of good versus evil because I wanted her to feel like the world was just like a good place. But then I was watching something and it made a really good point, which is if we don't tell our kids fairy tales where good always prevails and start building that schema in their brain, when inevitably something bad does happen, we're allowing more room for them to be defined by that bad situation because they don't already have a track built in their brain that like good always prevails, things always work out. And that's kind of where I'm at. So the Grimm's Fairy Tale book we got has no pictures, and we're definitely is not a book that we would read straight through to the kids. It's very much we're reading Sweet Porridge, very simple basic ones for them at 3 years old, and then waiting until like they're much older to read the majority of that book with them. But it's just an opportunity to start pulling 3 to 5 stories a year from it as they grow up. And the other holiday gift I forgot to mention we're getting her 3D Three Little Pig story thingy majigger. I'll leave a picture of it here. But basically it's like a puzzle and it comes with the book and figurines to act out the story. And I like it because like you can fold it flat. It could easily fit in our backpack for travel, and then all of the little houses from Three Little Pig story specifically double as like doll houses that we can travel with. So I thought that was really cool. They have a few other stories too, like Three Little Bears and things like that. And then the other thing we did ask for, which I don't totally know what's going to happen with it, because we asked for it when we thought we were going to be in Jacksonville for at least 3 months, which was the Brentwood play couch. So it's not the Nugget. I like it more than the Nugget. Eventually I'll probably review play couches, but I did a lot of research before deciding on the Brentwood one. With us moving so much right now, so I have no idea what's happening with that, but that's on our list. Don't know if that's actually happening. So basically our kids are getting like 2 toys each, which honestly I'm fine with, despite me always talking about toys. I'm the biggest proponent of, I think I shared in like YouTube shorts, little air dry modeling clay, crayons, board games. Oh, we are getting a new board game. We're getting the Hoot Owl Hoot board game, which I reviewed in my board games blog post for toddlers. But like we have Pancake Pile Up, which they love. We have the Sneaky Snacky Squirrel, which they love. That's where we're at. Typically don't really get a whole lot when we travel. At this house right now, the toys that we brought with us are the Love Every Block set and some Magnetiles, pretty much, and some crayons, and that's pretty much it. We don't do a ton of toys. We go outside a lot. So we'll see how all this goes. What are you guys getting your kids for Christmas? Let me know in the comments. Yeah. This has been an unexpected journey, lots of tears, doing the whole like a nomad thing with 2 kids under 4. Don't know how I feel about it yet, but we're gonna commit to it. I'm committing to 6 months of this life. And our first weekend here is like trying to go back, figure out how to go back home. And I talked to a few of my friends that also lived in their South Florida counties their whole lives, and they were like, yeah, that's totally normal to want to go back. This is gonna sound so, I don't know if bratty is the right word, but like it's just so much more gray and wintry, and I'm like still shocked I'm in Florida here. It's gonna be like in the 30s on Friday and I'm not built for this life. So we'll see what happens, and I commend all of you who live in cold climates. My daughter's loving it though, which is really a large part of why we moved. She wanted to move somewhere colder, and they have great homeschool and nature school programs here, so I'll just have to adjust. It's been 33 years in one place. There's gonna be some growing pains for me. So that's where I'm at. That's why I'm probably not gonna post any more videos until the new year, and why I've been so quiet lately. Anyway, and yes, I did bring our Christmas tree on this. That was part of the reason why we ended up getting a storage unit and not selling all of our stuff, was because I said, if we're gonna go on this crazy adventure going into Christmas, I at least need to keep it feeling somewhat stable. If you guys have questions too about like selling all your stuff and living Airbnbs for 6 months, hit me up, because this has been a weird experience too. I don't know where I'm going with any of this. I'm gonna stop talking now. Happy holidays, you guys. Bye. Can you wave goodbye? Oh, I love you guys.